Book Talk.
I'm here with David Bradt, a former military entomologist. Would you mind sharing a little bit about what you did?
I'm a former Army entomologist. I was an Army entomologist for a little over 4 years, up until last fall. I currently am Army entomologist part-time with the National Guard, but I'm still in full-time. I work in the science field. I went to school at Oklahoma State, and I originally started out where right out of high school. So I guess backing all the way up, I always had an interest in creepy crawly things. Things that were furry and cute they're so cool, but they didn't have a special place in my heart, I would say. So growing up, I was always catching frogs, catching snakes, catching bugs. I liked everything, but I really didn't hone in on insects or just invertebrates at that point. Out of high school, I joined the Army because I wanted to do that at some point in my life, and I thought it'd be cool. I had a good time doing it, and then after a couple of years, I decided I wanted to go to college. So I went to school at Oklahoma State, and my goal was I'm going to go to college and get a degree and go back into the Army as an officer. While I was in college, I was originally a zoology major, and it was cool, but there weren't a lot of even though I was still planning on being an Army officer, I still was thinking in the future that there weren't really many jobs that I could really get with that zoology degree that weren't say working at a university, or there's jobs that people do and they love it, but it seems like a lot of them are very low paid. And that I just thinking of my future. And I was married at the time, and what my wife told me, she said, if you continue getting a zoology degree, the only job you'll be able to get out of college will be brushing whale teeth. And I think she was maybe not 100% right, but that really was I was yeah, I should probably reevaluate this. I knew I loved creepy crawly things. I mean, if there were jobs for it, I would get a job catching frogs all day. That'd be the coolest thing ever. Yeah. I was trying to look where can I get a job dealing with creepy crawly things and still be able to support a family. So I came to entomology after a lot of research. Unfortunately, at my school had an entomology program. Not a lot of colleges in the U.S. have entomology programs, or in the world. It's really a niche thing, which is surprising considering that how intertwined our lives are with insects. I mean, the average American eats 2 to 3 pounds of insects every year, whether they think about it or not, just fragments in their food. 80% of the world's food supply would be eaten by insects if nothing was done to control them. So it's very surprising and kind of disheartening that there's not a lot of specified entomology. There is a lot of entomology research going on, but I feel like it could be more. But anyways, I found my program, had an entomology program. I switched majors, and I was getting a degree in entomology. I loved it. Oklahoma State was very good college. I was doing research as an undergraduate, even published research as an undergraduate, which I was very fortunate to have mentors that helped me with that. So, and then my junior year, I was in Army ROTC, and I found out there's such thing as an Army entomologist, and I was like, wait, I can be an entomologist in the Army? Are you kidding me? And I found out there's only about 55 entomologists in the Army at the time. And I was like, this is insane. So around my senior year, I applied for what's called an educational delay, where I could delay my service obligation to get a master's degree, because a master's degree is, you really need to have that job, that degree level. It's supposed to be a prerequisite. Some people have bachelor's in that job, but I applied for an educational delay, and I got it, and I was able to do research full-time, do a master's degree, where I did a master's degree focusing on mosquitoes, because that's really the biggest thing that affects world health. And I knew I wanted to focus on medical entomology. So I traveled all around Oklahoma, looking for mosquitoes, testing for pathogens in those mosquitoes. It was really awesome. And at the end of that, when I finished my master's program, I went back on active duty as an Army entomologist. And it was a cool job. But one thing I found out is that in the Army, people have jobs, but you're kind of expected to fill a lot of different roles. So I was doing a lot of non-entomology stuff too. I was also sent to Washington State originally, which doesn't have many bugs, very cool, mild climate, not many insects. But I was doing general science things. I mean, I was able to teach some mosquito identification because from mosquitoes that were being sent from all over the Pacific to Washington to their public health center, the Army Public Health Center, and help out with that. And then in 2020, we had this thing called COVID happened where I got sent over with 3 days notice. I got sent over to Thailand because so in the Army, Army entomologists fall under the bracket, the umbrella of preventive medicine. So that's things kind of preventing you from getting sick in the first place. So that's environmental scientists who look at things in the soil and the air. You have entomologists preventing people from getting diseases from insects and just general things like that, or people who health physics preventing people from getting sick from radiation. That all falls under that preventive medicine umbrella. So I got sent over to Thailand to do preventive medicine for COVID. I don't know anything about, and I mean, I was exposed to very little. I mean, I got sent to a general preventive medicine course, military preventive medicine, but I'm not epidemiologist. I knew a little bit about it, though. I was able to learn, and I kind of had to make sure to try to prevent soldiers. So I got sent to Thailand. Probably, I guess I should probably explain why I get sent to Thailand. Every year, there's a joint U.S. Army, Thai Army exercise that happens with about 5,000 U.S. soldiers in Thailand, and it's happened every year since 1982. Just kind of to keep our partnership in the region. But anyways, I got sent there to do contact tracing, make sure people weren't sleeping too close together with their cots, making sure people, doing temperature checks, all that general stuff that probably happened in the U.S. But I was there from February till end of April 2020. It was really cool. But I also was there. I'm like, I'm an entomologist. I should probably be doing some entomology stuff as well. So I set up mosquito traps. I was met with Thai preventive medicine physicians there. Talked to them about malaria. Is a big deal there, as it is in many parts of the world. So I was able to do a lot of cool stuff with that. Teach people about different insects in the region, different worries. Kind of also teaching people why they should be taking their malaria prophylaxis, because a lot of people don't want to take that. It can give you weird dreams, for example. So it was really cool. I got to see a lot of cool bugs out there, and I liked it. That was cool. And then I came home, and also I had been in the military for a little bit at this point, and that was getting sent away to Thailand with 3 days notice. My wife was like, "Yeah, you're not gonna do that again. That's not gonna happen again." So I decided about time to think about an exit from the military. I loved it. Very cool job. I highly recommend anybody who has the want to be a military entomologist. It's a great field. Sometimes with the family, it's tougher. So when I got back, I went from Washington State to San Antonio, Texas, for Fort Sam Houston, which is there were a lot more bugs, and I got to be an entomologist there. I already knew I was kind of on my way out of the active duty military, at least, but I went there and I got to do surveys on kissing bugs, which are little assassin bugs that this big, that live in wood piles and mouse dens and feed on blood at night. They're called kissing bugs because they bite people. They feed on usually around the lip area of people at night. Got to do surveys on that. Got to do surveys on soft ticks. Got to do a lot of mosquito identification. My job was all entomology there. It was pretty cool. If I could stay there forever, that would have been pretty cool. But I knew in the military, my days were numbered at any one job. So I did that, and then I eventually left the military, and now I work in the biotech field as a project manager. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's what I do now. I don't deal with any specific entomology stuff right now. I'm hoping to get back into that, but yeah, that's how I ended up there, and I still do entomology part time with the Connecticut National Guard. But yeah, that's my story of how I got here.
Very cool. Very cool. So you mentioned mosquitoes, and anytime I talk to anyone about mosquitoes, they always ask, why can't we just get rid of all of them? What's your answer to that?
I get that question a lot, and I don't know. It's tough because I feel like if all the mosquitoes went away, right? If they were all gone now, some people would say, well, other things it wouldn't really. Well, I would first start with saying there's a lot of animals out there that really depend on mosquitoes for food. Mosquito larvae can't really swim very well; they kind of just wiggle around, so they're kind of just sitting ducks for anything to eat them. So they're a very important food source for a lot of different animals out there. So I remember I saw like there was a Discovery Channel special not too long ago, and it was talking about that question. About what would happen if all the mosquitoes went away, and there was a expert in there who was saying not much would happen. I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. I think there's a lot of there might be some ecological changes that would happen unexpectedly. But also, an important thing to note is that there are a lot of mosquitoes out there. There's a lot of mosquitoes out there that would not eat, that would not even touch you. They would rather starve to death. Most mosquitoes are like that. And there's even mosquitoes within a species that bites us that they live out in the woods and they feed on bird like Aedes aegypti, which is the mosquito that transmits things like yellow fever and Zika. There are populations that live out deep in forests who they wouldn't even know what you are if they saw you. They wouldn't even feed on you. They would just starve to death. So there's not, when you look at all the mosquitoes in the world, there's not that many that do feed on us. If we could do a Thanos snap and get rid of all the mosquitoes that cause disease and affect people, that would be, I don't think that would really cause negative problems besides, I don't know. It's hard to say, oh, population growth, or it keeps populations of people down, which I don't like when people say that, because the people who are saying that are usually the people who are not afraid of dying of a mosquito-borne illness. Us in the developed world kind of live a insectory-free life. I mean, people worry about, people saying, the brown recluses and the black widows are going to come out and kill you, but there's a lot of people in the world who their lives are kind of hanging in the balance. And even if they don't die from a, say, mosquito-borne illness, I just keep saying that because it's the most common, there's a lot of diseases out there that just make you bedridden for a month or 6 weeks, and like dengue. And a lot of families depend on that. And if the main breadwinner can't work for a month, that family might starve. So we live in a very, I'm saying me and you, I'm assuming, we don't really have to worry about that. So if we get rid of all the mosquitoes that cause disease to people, I'm sure that the world would be a better place. I don't know if there would be any ecological hazards there, but if we got rid of all the mosquitoes in the world, that would definitely probably cause some unforeseen things that I'm sure nobody would figure out unless we actually did it. So that's a long-winded answer to that question. I get that question all the time. I mean, ticks, mosquitoes, there's lots of things that feed on them. Ticks, I think the world could do without ticks easier than it could do without mosquitoes.
Every so often there'll be like that flurry of news articles about such and such disease. Are those things pretty periodical, or is it just like a news cycle trying to get people to read it?
Well, so with climate change, these mosquito-borne illnesses in the country in the U.S. specifically, are happening more and more often. Typically, West Nile cases in the U.S. weren't seen until like late August. That's mosquito populations are, of course, cyclical. They kind of start in most places around May, and the populations start to die off around September. Early September is usually like the peak mosquito populations in temperate climates. So, and it usually takes a while for those diseases or pathogens to build up within a mosquito. Mosquito is not a flying hypodermic needle. It's not going to bite you and then go and fly and bite somebody else and give them that disease. That pathogen needs to build up in their body, usually like a month. For malaria, it takes a month or 3 weeks usually. And mosquito lifespan isn't that long. It's only about a month. So only the old ones are biting you and infecting you. So it really takes a long time, really takes towards the end of the season in temperate climates for those things to happen. But with what we've seen of rising temperatures and the mosquito season starts earlier. So now we've seen West Nile cases in July. There was a dengue case in Florida in early August, I think, which is very, very early. I think there is a lot of doom and gloom on the news because, I mean, it's not like we're getting big thousands of people getting infected or even hundreds or even dozens. It's still something to watch out for, though, because, again, I'm saying in the U.S., we're kind of sheltered from a lot of these mosquito-borne illnesses, but historically the U.S. had malaria throughout the whole entire thing, not even just in the South. The southern U.S. was very hit hard by malaria, and that's kind of where the trope of southern people being slow and just moving slow and everything like that. That's because up until mid 20th century, malaria was very common in the South. In the 50s, the U.S. went on a malaria eradication campaign where they used tons of DDT and just really eliminated malaria from the U.S. And it was very successful, and our lives are a lot better for that. You go back further than that, the reason that Washington, D.C. is the capital is because it got moved from Philadelphia because Philadelphia got wrecked by a yellow fever epidemic, which is spread by mosquitoes. And there were many yellow fever epidemics in early U.S. history that affected a lot of people and very deadly and very high mortality rate. So, yeah, that's it. Right now we see onesies, twosies of, some person got this or a horse died of Eastern equine encephalitis. Those are things to watch out for. I wouldn't get too worried if I saw a couple cases, but I'm sure there's a lot of, like, West Nile virus is a very low rate of people actually getting sick when they get infected. I mean, chances are not chances are, but I wouldn't doubt that me and you have been infected with West Nile virus and we just never got sick. The people who get sick, it's really bad, but again, I'm just saying I wouldn't get too worried. There are things like Lyme disease. Lyme disease is something that is a very, very real threat in the U.S. and people need to really keep an eye out. They need to wear insect repellent or just bug repellent because ticks are arachnids. Wear repellent, take showers after you go outside, check yourself for ticks. That's a very real threat. So that's a very real threat. Getting dengue, I wouldn't worry about that. Getting Lyme disease, you should take precautions on that.
I live in Texas in the Dallas area, and every so often there'll be a notice about the mosquito fogging in such and such neighborhoods because they found a West Nile positive mosquito. I'm sure the military is monitoring like overseas a lot, but kind of like cities in general, do you know how often they're monitoring stuff? And is that like, do they have like a general biologist doing that? Do they have like a specific entomologist?
So southern states, like really Gulf Coast region specifically, does a very good job of mosquito abatement. There's really good programs. Like, in the Dallas area, they do have programs for that. If I still lived in Texas, if I decided to stay in Texas or Florida or Mississippi, I would probably still be an entomologist right now with my full-time job title. Okay. Their jobs are there. Like Houston especially has a massive mosquito program. They have a lot of people for their mosquito control district. I'm sure most counties in Texas do. I know Florida, they have to. It's a big thing. So they usually are staffed by the mosquito control districts in those southern areas. Again, I live in Connecticut. It's not as huge of it's not as big of a deal. There's not like a mosquito. There's people who do mosquito control, but there's not really a very big staff. Not in all counties, not really big staff mosquito control district or that very active. In the Dallas area, I'm sure you do. But I know for a fact, Houston, the Harris County, I'll just use them as an example. They have multiple entomologists on staff who make those decisions and who are reading literature to make sure that they're using methods that work. Because for fogging, I'm not a big, I'm sure there's a lot of entomologists who are into it, but I'm not a big fan of it because you are mainly killing the adult mosquitoes. So mosquitoes fly around at night, or usually in dawn and dusk, which is they're called crepuscular. And during the day, they rest in trees. So that fogging is supposed to be killing the adult mosquitoes that are resting in the trees. A lot of studies show that the much more effective way to kill mosquitoes is to target the larvae, that's putting insecticides that are specific to mosquitoes in standing water or to discourage use of standing water. So the fogging kind of, it's killing the adults, but the larvae are just going to hatch. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent there. But yeah, usually those mosquito control districts in states that have big mosquito problems are, they are staffed by entomologists who take their jobs very seriously and who do a really good job. So they're very unsung heroes. If you want more, if I didn't answer your question, let me know.
No, that was perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
What was your typical day like as a military entomologist? Like, what were your day-to-day duties?
So, when I go on about it, it's not going to sound much like an entomology job. Usually I'll get up, have to be at work at about 6, do call it physical training for about an hour. It usually starts at about 6:30, do that to like 6:30 to 7:30. Then I start work again about 8:30, usually having to do logistics things, kind of figuring out our equipment. We have our mosquito foggers, we have our trucks, all our equipment, make sure those things are tested, make sure those things are working well, ordering new equipment, and training the preventive medicine specialists who would work with me as well, which are awesome people, and just kind of doing that and or developing our training calendars. So say if it's a day where we're going to go out and do training, we'll go out and I'll demonstrate, here's how you use a mosquito larval dipper, here's how you use a mosquito sprayer, or they'll teach something that's just general military, like here's how we do land navigation, or a certain day we'll go to the range and shoot. So it really is a military job with some entomology sprinkled in, depending on your job. Like that was when I was in Washington State, and I was in what's called like an operational unit that could deploy. When I went to Texas, at the Army Public Health Center, I was basically a civilian in uniform. So I showed up, go to the lab, assist in grinding up mosquitoes that were sent in from different states so they could be tested for pathogens, test for mosquitoes, say, hey, let's go out, let's go do a survey, let's go look for kissing bugs, or let's go look for, it was just, that was a much more different job, a little less military structured.
Yeah, when I was in college, I identified bugs for a military entomologist. There's a military testing ground in the area, and he was always surveying to make sure they weren't blowing stuff up too much in any given area, more or less.
Was it an Army entomologist?
Yes, yeah.
Do you know his name?
Robert Delph.
Yeah, I think he's retired now.
Okay.
I know the name though.
Yeah.
There's not
small
that
world.
many. There's not that many. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really fun to work with. He knew his stuff.
That's awesome.
So
maybe he's not. I thought I heard the name before. Robert, if you're out there, feel free to correct me.
What advice would you give to someone thinking about a career as a military entomologist, or entomologist in general?
Yeah, so I'll give general entomology advice. I'll give both. So the first of all, doing military entomology, it's not for everyone, and not a lot of people can do that. So if you can't do it, Don't feel bad about yourself. There's a lot of entomology jobs out there. My biggest thing, if somebody wants to pursue a career in entomology, is to find a mentor who can help them navigate what the entomology jobs are out there. Because when you're in college, when you're studying entomology, you don't really get exposed to entomology jobs that are not academic in nature. There's a lot of industry jobs out there that usually pay much better, but there's usually a lot less. You're not doing as cool things with going and crafting your own research and going out there and doing it. So there's the trade-offs, and that's a big thing. Is kind of just getting yourself set up with an entomology mentor. Most entomologists are awesome and really would love to talk to you. So that would be my thing, is just really getting mentors. And I mean, that's just general life advice in general, just getting mentors and whatever you want to do. So yeah, my thing is when I was in college as an entomologist or getting a degree in entomology, I really wished, I kept telling my department, I was like, can we please get exposed to some entomologists who are not professors or working in a research lab at a university? Like, I'd love to be exposed to see what entomologists out there do. But that's my general thing. And if you want to be an Army entomologist, I make sure you're physically fit, because you will be rated against your peers who are non-entomologists when you're in those Army units. Or I mean, you can be in the Navy, you can be in the Air Force as an entomologist as well. But that's a great field, and it's even a great field just to start out your career in entomology, because you'll be exposed to a lot more than you would in a civilian job, and you'll be placed in more leadership positions. So if you just want to do that for a couple of years before getting back out in the civilian world, great. Another thing, if you want to be an entomologist, is kind of identify where you'd like to live in the country, and maybe craft your what you're studying and what you're researching, what you're working with, on what's big in that area. For example, I'm living in Connecticut now. If I wanted to be an entomologist in Connecticut, my best bet would be to work on ticks. If I lived in Texas, it would be mosquitoes. If I lived in Florida, it could be probably anything, but mostly mosquitoes. So it's kind of look at those things. But it's a great field, great exciting field, and also recognize that you don't need to be an entomologist. You can have that background in entomology. You can have your bug collection. You can do whatever you want, and you could work a job anywhere in the sciences. You could teach anything. You could learn about anything from the lens of entomology. You could learn military history. Basically, any war in history has been heavily influenced by entomology. You could teach anything in biology, from looking at insects. It's just really a great field, and really great. It's kind of, entomology seems like it's a lost art almost. Not a lot of people know a lot about insects, and they're definitely the coolest group, in my opinion. I mean, my favorite. I talk a lot about mosquitoes, but my favorite bugs are cockroaches. I think they're the coolest. They have a lot going on. There's so many different. There's 3,000 species about, and only around a dozen that infest people's homes. So there's a lot out there that are just doing their thing, that are very highly specialized. And so I don't know. I would encourage anybody to study entomology.
Lots of great advice. Yeah, history, just talking to you, has been coming up quite a bit, like how much of an impact insects have on our lives.
Yeah, and it's crazy. There's a great book that came out probably 4 or 5 years ago, called the Mosquito, and it was a book on military history throughout. Yeah, for just history in general, just about how mosquitoes have influenced that. And I mean, the world would be a very different place if mosquitoes weren't around. Very different.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you keep like a personal collection? Do you have any pet bugs? Because you said you aren't working as a full-time entomologist right now. So how much of it has transitioned into like a hobby?
So I used to have a bug collection, but I moved a lot. And this last move, my stuff was in storage for several months, and my collection got demolished by domestic beetles who just ate
Oh
everything.
man.
My wife, who's not an entomologist, has a butterfly. As she pins butterflies, and she has nice butterflies. But she had the foresight to put insecticide strips in her collection, and her stuff is fine. So I admire her. Maybe when I don't have kids anymore and I'm older, I would. Actually, that's a bad cop out excuse. One day I'll start another collection again. It's cool. It's painstaking though. I mean, you're pinning a mosquito. If you breathe, it's across the room. But I don't do that anymore. I have a pet tarantula that I've had for about 8 or 9 years. That's my only pet arthropod. I used to have a lot of, and actually when I was in high school, I I bought praying mantis egg cases and I sold them on eBay as like beneficial pest control, which looking back now, I'm like, it's not really, doesn't really work that well. And I'm probably spreading non-native species around the country. But anyways, I used to have a lot more creepy crawly pets when I was a kid. Now that I'm married with kids, it's not my priority right now, but one day, again, now I'm thinking back, I'm reminiscing about the past. The tarantula is cool though. If anybody wants a pet or wants the easiest pet in the world that doesn't do much and doesn't bother anybody, tarantulas are the best pets in the world. Easiest pets, very hard to kill.
Yeah, I used to have a few. Then had kids. Put a pause on the live bugs as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate. It's a sad story, but yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes. I'm glad my wife isn't into it as much as me because I'd probably go overboard and our house would be full of stuff everywhere, full of bugs everywhere, which would not be cool. I don't know. It would get overwhelming. I'm glad my wife keeps me grounded.
Do you have a least favorite part about entomology, or like anything you wish would be different?
That is a really, really good question that I haven't really thought about. Least favorite part of entomology. Um, Probably, and I'm saying this is my least favorite. It's probably a good idea. It's like this is the bureaucracy of getting. It's kind of hard to go out if you say you're in an academic situation and you want to do your own research. You have to get the funding to do that research. If the world were different, we could just have free money to just pursue whatever research we want to do. That would be cool. So I guess getting those grants, that's probably my least favorite part. Which I haven't done that in a while since I was in college. But anyways, other least favorite part. I guess my least favorite part is that not enough people in the world are like bugs as much as me. I wish that everybody liked bugs as much as me. I wish that people didn't act like, people didn't act like eating bugs is weird or, which I got to see a lot of in Thailand. That bugs are just a regular part of people's diets. It's like not a big deal. But yeah, that's my least favorite part is kind of having to explain to people why I like bugs. It's exhausting, but hopefully, proselytizing my love for bugs to the world will help to convert a few people.
Yeah, I'm hoping that even if people don't start catching bugs, at least they appreciate them.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm biased, but I feel like I notice more people nowadays not wantonly killing every insect or spider they see, which I don't know. Hopefully that's new. But I mean, with the world, how it is with insects, I don't know if you've ever talked about this with anybody, how insect populations worldwide are really down, like a lot, like 90% in some areas. And it's very concerning. Um, in a lot of places, kids don't get to see their front porch lights swarmed with thousands and thousands of insects like it used to be even 20 years ago. So maybe people might appreciate them more when they're not around as much.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I grew up right in the foothills. There's nothing behind my house, so we got a yard full of bugs, and I loved it.
Nothing better.
Do you have a favorite piece of collecting equipment? Like, what's your go-to when you're going to go out
The
and catch
mosquito
bugs?
aspirator is the best. It's the coolest thing. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a little vial, and then there's a rubber tube And so it's like a vial, a long tube, and then a rubber tubing, and you kind of move that vial around, and you put it on a mosquito, just or any small insect. You suck them up into that vial, and you collect them with the vial. It's just a cool thing. There's a couple papers on it where an army entomologist had soldiers in South Korea on guard duty. They gave them aspirators and had them suck all the mosquitoes they could off each other's arms for like a certain period for a shift to assess mosquito populations in the area. And it worked really well because we have a lot of equipment out there to try to attract mosquitoes to traps, and nothing works as well as live human. It's the best thing going. But the aspirator, I think, is the coolest piece of equipment. There's a lot of cool mosquito collecting items out there. Another cool one, which I just like it because it's so gross, is so there's different groups of there's different genera of mosquitoes and different species that are attracted to different things. So you have Culex mosquitoes, which are the ones who spread West Nile and a lot of encephalitis in general, and they're attracted to very nasty water. So one way where you make a mosquito trap for that is you have basically a basin that you fill with rotting grass clippings. And how you do that is you put rotting grass clippings in a bucket, seal it, put it in the sun, let that get all nasty, and then you put that nasty sludge in a basin, and those mosquitoes will come from far away. And the mosquitoes come to the basin, and there's a fan that sucks them up into a net. That's a cool piece of equipment as well. There's a lot of innovations in the mosquito world.
That's pretty cool. I haven't heard of that kind of trap. That's cool.
It's called I haven't done it in a while. I forgot the name, but yeah, it's a cool piece of equipment.
So you mentioned growing up, you're always kind of into the creepy crawlies, and when you're choosing entomology, you kind of researched, I guess, different fields. Were there any? Did you have any professors, anyone that kind of guided you towards entomology, or so you mentioned finding a mentor to go like post-graduating into a job. Did you have any mentors during college to kind of land on entomology?
Well, so I kind of found entomology at my college by myself by researching it, but it had really good mentors. My number one mentor, and my other mentors, if you see this, you're all my number one mentors as well. My first mentor, I should say, is Dr. Hoback, who's at Oklahoma State University, who's awesome. And he kind of really helped me, took me under his wing, helped me craft research projects, really taught me about entomology, just all around great guy. And he was just awesome, really gave me opportunities as an undergraduate student to do research that really solidified my love for it. So I know he's doing great things there now still. He's really grown their department a lot. But he's a great mentor. Another great mentor was Dr. Noden, who's at Oklahoma State as well. He's really good. He has an infectious love for bugs, a very strong public health background. He really helped me figure out what I wanted to do in the medical entomology world, which is very beneficial for my Army entomology career. He was awesome. And then another great entomology mentor I had was Dr. Card, who was at Oklahoma State as well. And he was great helping me because he was actually a retired colonel in the Army Reserve. And he's an entomologist, really focusing on termites. But he was very good. He was very, very ruthless with editing my work and making sure everything was completely perfect. Great guy. So mentors are so important. I'm always reaching out, my professional job, my day job now, always just finding mentors, finding the next mentor, or keeping with current mentors. That's really the way you make it.
Yeah, that's really good advice. So do you have any final parting words of advice for any current or future entomologists?
So my advice would be make sure that keep that love alive. Don't let people get you down, say it's weird. Entomology is very, very important to us. And then also to a lot of people out there, you don't need to do entomology as a job. Entomology is a great, fun hobby. Your life will be better knowing about insects or arthropods in general. You can be that person that everybody needs to help identifying a bug, and you can tell them inevitably that it's not something that will kill them or their dog. Entomology is such a great thing to know about, and just yeah, love of insects is very important, and there's not enough of us. So that's what my parting. Those were my parting words.